Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? We're going to be working on Project Eros yet again. And as we see, we have Dante from the Devil May Cry series here today, otherwise known as we're going to be possibly working on combat today. But let's go over what I've been working on. So I made things a little bit clearer. I also been working on, I also got a little bit of a lore thing right here because lore. Where is it? Yes, race. So, as of right now, I have 3 races in the game. I have humanity, obviously. They have access to all human miracles. All natural miracles. I have a starting purity of 100. And one thing you may be noticing here is I'm going to be using a system called the XP deficit. Hello, phone. How are you? What the XP deficit is the older you are, or depending on your different race, you will be getting different amounts of experience points right off the bat. But the problem is you have to pretty much buy back up to that point. So let's say I am an adult, I have 25 starting experience, a little over double the amount a youth gets, but I have 20 XP that I just don't get access to initially. Well, they get 20 XP to play around with, but that's also the catch-up mechanic, and in case you want to play just a stronger character. We also have the Lamia, which is actually Latin for vampire, which is going to be very confusing for me and anyone who partakes in people who happen to be snakes. But they have a lower starting purity. However, they do get their stats are pretty damn good, but they have a pretty hefty XP deficit. They're actually as much as a senior human. But you have the advantage of being a literal fucking vampire. And then we have Therianthropes. As of right now, I just have wolves, bears, rats, and lizards. And as you see, all their stats are pretty focused on being tough in certain areas. They have some skills. So a little bit of starting XP, and their only XP deficit is actually only equal to a young adult. So you don't actually get that much initial oomph behind things. But you get actually what I should tone that down actually to put that as 5, starting XP of 5. There you go. So you get hardly fucking anything as a youth. And finally, as you see, I added some pictures, and we're going to be adding a final race. And we're going to be adding golems. And maybe wondering, why are we adding golems? We are adding golems because someone said, I really want to play Alexander Anderson. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Original golems were created by the Jewish during their multiple exiles and determination to survive and desire to surmount threat and to protect against threats. While originally, let's see, golems from the Adjudicator Corps, from the Adjudicators, from the Adjudicators, after some negotiations with local Jewish populations, and sometimes coercement, the method to creating a quote budget golem was given to the Catholic Church. Was given to the church to join the Adjudicators. However, unlike their Jewish counterparts, Catholic golems I have blackcurrant tea, by the way, blackberry tea, and I put a little bit of my apple whiskey in there. It's pretty good. But the apple and the blackberry wouldn't go well together, but it does. You may also be saying, no, Ben, why are you drinking so early? It's because I can. And actually, I have work tonight. Yes, I actually got a job, so this is good news. Like the Jewish Catholic golems are far more directed to the offensive rather than defensive. Being free of sin. And more being free of sin. Catholic golems are often regarded as something quote other than actually, how do I want to say this? Jewish Canada far more directed on the offense. Most adjudicators would say that their golem companions are direct in many ways, often failing at basic tasks tasks outside of their assigned one. With time and effort, for many golems find themselves a niche in personality. But they are, however, free of sin due to their nature of being created and blessed, due to their nature of being free of sin due to their nature of being born akin to Eve or Adam or Eve. Few golems leave the adjudicators, but none leave the faith. Leave the faith outside of pilgrimages or meeting their Jewish counterparts. And golems have access to one school of miracle, one path of natural miracles, and start with a purity of 100. So, for lack of a better word, if you do decide to play a golem, you are effectively playing, the best way to word it is, an autist with superpowers. Good tea. Let's see, only one path of natural miracles, and start with a purity of 100, and now we go here, and golems. Let's see, we want to make them youths, so they always start with 2. Starting XP, they start with 10 starting experience points. Deficit of, let's give them an XP deficit of 10. However, let's see, we need 5. That means we have to add 1 more. Faith. Actually, what's clergy? D20 faith, D4 finesse, D4 strength, D4 toughness, D4 will. Slingers, D4 faith, D20 finesse, D4 strength, D4 toughness, D4 will. I think you're seeing what the gimmick is here. You have one thing you're really good at. Crusaders, D4 faith, D4 finesse, D20 strength, D4 toughness, D4 will. Oh god, what would be a... What's a big scary thing? What's a big tough thing? Actually, what we can do... Actually, let's move Crusaders down here. Let's call you Avengers. And D4, 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 D20, D4. Our final... Oh god, what's the... What's the word I'm looking for? Demon, the Descent, Angels. Do. Thanks, Demon, the Descent, Inquisitor, Salvatore. Psychopomps. Is that the word I'm looking for? No. Messenger. D4 Faith, D4 Finesse, D4 Strength, D4 Toughness, D20 Will. Someone pinged me. Why are you pinging me? Oh. It's just Remy. Sorry, Sleeps, but you did not ping me. In fact, please don't ping me. Because I will always check pings. That's my issue. Oh, God. Let's see. Alright, so we got our golems. Which reminds me, because I am incredibly bad about this. Control C, Control V. But no, Pat, what are you doing? You delete everything here, delete everything here. Because you can't delete everything all at once, because if you do, it deletes the entire table. And there we go. We maintain things that look roughly what it should. Except you are all in Arial. Why are you Arial? Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Why are all the numbers in Arial? Who knows? Is it because maybe God is dead and he killed us? Yeah, also, I'm keeping track of the amount of times I accidentally have to use artwork that is suggesting something a little bit younger. I know Lestat. Look at those lips. Oh, yeah. Also, finding Catholic werewolf. You know, I'm gonna actually Google this for everyone just to make sure that everyone knows my pain. You're like, oh wow, look at all these cool werewolves, and you're just like, all right, you know, maybe I can find a priest werewolf. All right, pretty cool stuff. Where is it? I accidentally found a lot of furry artwork I did not mean to. Because, fun fact, everyone, the Christian furry community is alive and well. You may be wondering, but why? I don't know either. There's just a lot of Christian furry artwork. I think I made it all go away. Because, like, why? That's my question, but why? Okay, go away, Demon the Descent. I'm one of the idiots who actually backed Demon the Descent because I thought it was really cool. And, press F. F in chat for my love of, you know, my love of Demon the Descent, even though no one will play it. Alright, we got all our races, got all our attributes. And, let's see. Race attributes and skills. Yeah, you may notice I'm taking away miracles here. Now, it's not because miracles are going away forever and I hate them. No. What's kind of going on there is that I'm going to move miracles to its own section rather than give it and try to fit it into character creation. I think that's just going to be a slightly better idea. Now, health. Health is going to be interesting because after thinking about it a bit, and the combat system we're going to be using, the beat system, I've determined that probably a limb-based system is probably best, due to the fact that it is a bit more, that's what the system was kind of based on, is limbs, so I'm going to have to kind of deal with that. So that's why the health bar system is going away. I'm going to be replacing it with simply life and limb. Each part of the character is divided into parts that will Crippled reaching 0 health. In addition, if a part is broken or reduced to a negative health value equal to starting health, the part is considered broken. Actually, it's destroyed. And toughness plusness tough 10. So example D6 and toughness. 16 health on their head. Negative 16 health. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I bumped up the damage numbers just a smidge, just to make sure that things work out as planned. So, plus 20. A character has negative 5 to all actions. All remaining limbs take 1d10 damage. The character suffers instant death. Let's see. Robato, domo arigato, Mr. Robato. Robato. Heading for... Now, the main reason why I'm going to have to use the limb system rather than the health bar system, as is would be traditionally associated with something like Devil May Cry, is again mostly because A, that's how the combat system is, and it gives characters a little bit more leeway when it comes to health. Also makes making enemies a little bit easier in some cases because you can just build parts rather than anything else. Let's see. If crippled, characters' arms are rendered easily or not, whatever they are holding in their hand. Rendered useless. Placeholder until combat works properly. Yeah, I'm going to mark that in red real fast. I don't quite know how I want to do movement yet, but let's see. Affect them if they are crippled by Actually, these are 4, and this is heading 1. Why are these heading 4? These should be... Oh, these should be heading 3. So, what I can do... We should do, actually, human health... That too, but that means, so I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to have to put a big image right there, most likely. Actually, what I can... It's considered destroyed. Each race has a slightly different amount for... There's a slightly different amount of health per limb. But if 2 or more limbs are destroyed, actually, if destroyed, but if 2 or more limbs are destroyed, the character falls dies in battle. If a character... Okay, yeah. 2 or more limbs are destroyed, character dies in battle. If 4 or more limbs are crippled... Actually, yeah, no. Exactly. Human health. And that means we gotta change everything to 3. Pretty much every race is going to have slightly different amounts of Actually, what I should say is human and Lamia. Lamia health And which also leads me to Therian health. Therian health. This may seem very complex. It is actually not. Therians just get they get pretty much a flat bonus to everything by virtue of just being a bit tougher than most things. And let's see. Tough times 2. Yeah, so Therians are incredibly goddamn tough. That's their entire gimmick, is that they are big and strong. The issue is that they don't have access to all the miracles, or good miracles for that line. The vampires are going to be able to actually heal themselves in mid-fight using miracles of blood and miracles of flesh. However, Therians only have access to the fact that they can talk to animals consistently, and they can act like an animal consistently, and possibly use their natural I can turn into an animal abilities. That's literally it. But they are just incredibly goddamn tough. While humans have access to the full range of miracles, vampires have 2 very good miracles. Golems, if I get to them, golem health. $20. Actually, I should. If crippled, nothing. Destroyed. Rendered immobile and without senses. Takes a -10 to all actions. Yeah, my gimmick for golems is that you can break them as much as you want. They're not going to die that easy, at all. But that's golem just doesn't feel pain traditionally, so it doesn't feel anything. Oh, hello, Found. How are you? Jeez, baby. Most elegant system? Probably not. Which brings me to crippled to nothing. The character's remaining limbs take 1d8 damage every turn, as long as the gut is damaged. And fun fact, I actually got this health system. I actually derived it from Tarkov, because I was looking for something for, it was not standard issue, it was Where the Light Fades Softly. I'm like, I can't find. Because Tarkov actually has like an incredibly fascinating health system, and if you ever get bored, I suggest watching just some clips of it and watching people get hurt. Because what they have to do is, like, they immediately have to kind of make decisions. Being like, alright, my arm is broken. I'm not going to be able to aim very well. Do I try to heal my arm? Do I try to get away from the fight? And that's where this health system came in, but like the most dangerous place to get hit is your gut. Because if your gut's injured, you're dying, you're bleeding out really quickly. But if your arm gets blown off, like, it's not as bad, but you can't aim, so you're at a disadvantage. So that's kind of where I derived all this. This system, anyway, was from that game. Uh, useless. Is rendered useless. And placeholder until combat works. Cleanly broken. Okay. Normally. Move normally. So yeah, no, if you want to kill a golem, you don't go for the head, you don't go for the gut. You go for their limbs. If you can take their arms off, they can't beat you to death. If you go for their head, they can, going for their head isn't actually as valuable as going for other very valuable things. That's kind of the point. Oh god, people are... Stop pinging me, people. Why? Why do you ping me? I'm a simple man. Alright, got all my health systems here working. I'm going to have to just slap a big... character dies in battle. Actually, what I should put... Only exception to this rule are golems, which require the head, gut, which requires the head and gut to be destroyed. Perfect. And that's what I like to see. Actually, 20, that means D6 plus 20, they have 26 health. Actually, if I already have a golem this year, I don't really need it going forward. So, what else do I... Okay, so we got the health system. Now we need to get combat to work behind it. Alright, here comes the fun part. Look at the combat basics. This is the beat system. I am going to... Yeah, this is the beat system. Now, beat was from Grandbelm, actually a conflict on the foil. For the disciples, actually, the adjudicators, drawn the combat enhanced by some revel in the dangerous high octane violence. When combatants enter the fray, all character. Okay, so one of the key ideas of the beat system is that you are constantly having to do something different. If you're not doing something different, you're not going to be as effective. So you can't just say, I attack every round. You have to move, then you have to think about it, then you can attack. You do your big hit. That's the entire idea behind it. Now, it was originally based around mecha combat, but I'm going to have to use it for Devil May Cry combat now, which may or may not work. So, now we get to do that. Alright, so let's open this up, and we want to get all our attributes in place. faith, finesse, strength, will, toughness, and will. All characters add. It'd be add their all characters add their finesse, and we'll say it's and will together. Determine their initial initiative value. The highest initiative value chooses their action first, and then the order descends. Same value. The characters with the highest finesse acts first. If one party ambushes an enemy, they act first before rolling initiative. One party attacks a defended position, the defender acts first before rolling initiative. When in combat, characters build their beat die by performing different actions each subsequent action, called a combo. All characters start with D4 as their beat die. Every unique action builds it up. D4, D6, D8, D10, D20. By one step to the next action. When the character performs an action the second time or performs a combo ender, their next action is reset to the beat die of D4. Combo cannot exceed D20 as their beat die. Subsequent actions after D20 do not increase the beat die. Alright. Now here comes the fun part. So, we want to do an attack. Now, normally, strength plus weapon minus evasion for range or brace for melee and damage. The enemy distributes the damage. Melee strikes go to a single limb of the character. Range attacks can distribute range attacks. Range attack damage is distributed. Actually, it can be distributed among any limb of the character. Brace. Let's see. Roll beat die plus. We'll call it faith. The build. Actually, no. Toughness. TGH. STR. Brace is automatically consumed when the melee attack connects. Creation. Add a beat die to them. Okay, so we're going to mark things that do not work. We're going to have to change that. Destroy. Doesn't work. Dispel. Doesn't work. Disruption. So roll beat die plus expression. Actually, it would be plus will. WIL versus target beat die plus their faith. Whoever loses, they lose their combo. Does nothing but continues the combo. Evade, roll beat die plus thin to a build of evasion. The amount of evasion is reduced by the amount of damage it blocks. It would be will. Actually, it would be faith or will. Will, as character's new position in the initiative order. Shift. Actually, shift doesn't quite work because I don't know how I want to handle that yet. Roll beat die plus aptitude plus, we'll call it will. Actually, attack this faith. Plus will. Alpha strike doesn't quite work. Casting does not quite work. This sort of works. Flight sort of works. Follow through it. Character attacks with melee weapon along two connected Along 2 limbs. One dealing equally, deal beat damage, plus strength, plus weapon, minus brace and damage. Characters end their combo, as well as combo with their target if they beat them in a beat type, plus, we'll call it strength, plus finesse. In toughness, plus finesse roll. If the character fails, the beat is reset. Just reload all their ranged weapons, shield. Character cancels the next piece of damage from any source. We're going to call that a red as well. Alright. So, we have some things to fix. So, okay, let's think about... I'm actually going to pull up Grandbelm right now. Grandbelm, where are you? Grandbelm, where are you? Grandbelm. Grandbelm. Yeah, now, to give you the idea of how much stuff is in Grandbelm that does contain some interesting ideas, this is just the mech creation section. Yeah, there's quite a few mech bits in here. Now, this is what a full mech looks like right here. Yeah, so welcome to combat. That's why there's so many things in combat. Alright, let's see. Alright, so, okay. Alright, so if we want to do full-on legit... We're going to YouTube, everyone, because I need to double-check something. DMC combat. Not Devil May Cry 5 combat. No, let's see. Nope, don't care. Okay. Yeah, there's always a lot of movement in DMC combat, so I'm gonna go back a little bit just so I can review that again. Yeah, watch as he kind of moves around. He's never really stopping or allowing anyone to actually hit him. So let's... Alright. Strength plus weapon. Brace. Combat miracle. Miracle start. Actually, what we can do. Creation. Add a beat die to combat. Okay, I blew everyone's ears out. Sorry. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it was coming. I'm like, oh, God, I can't do anything to stop this. Let's see. To add a beat die to a combat miracle. The character may add this beat die to the next cast. Destroy it. What we can do is we can do an execute here. Draw a little bit from High Speed Death Machine. The character automatically destroys a minion. Yeah, let's call it a minion. We'll call it a minion for now, though I might change it. Automatically destroys a minion of a lower beat die value. Destroy a magic circle / combat miracle of equal or lower beat or combat. Destroy magic circle / combat miracle creation of equal or lower beat die value. Disruption. Vision. Okay. So we're going to change these back to black because I have the idea here. Shift target current beat die plus. / finesse or toughness / finesse. Actually, I can make the mech go away. I can make all the mechs go away, even though that physically and emotionally hurts me in all ways. Because mechs make the world go around. Everyone, don't forget that. Ship tactics. Oh God. Oh yeah. Airstrike. Knock up. Roll beat die. Deep die plus strength versus target's current beat die plus finesse / toughness. If successful, the target is knocked upwards. And is currently aerial. God. Move up. Go aerial. Leaps upwards and is considered to be aerial. The character cannot. If the character does not perform an action. They will fall they will follow their next action. Action to maintain air. They will fall next action. This maintains air. This maintains air. So yeah, going aerial is kind of more of the featuring Dante from Devil May Cry aspect of this game, but I'm also completely okay with that because I really don't. Because this game is supposed to feel a little bit over the top. That's the point. Let's A to Z that. Because you are literally named adjudicators, for God's sakes. Actually, what we can do is we can change that Alpha Strike. We'll call it Unload. The character fires their no ranged weapon until it is empty. Empty cannot act until character deals beat die plus finesse plus weapons minus enemy evasion. Cast. Yeah, we'll call it cast. Cast, roll, beat die plus creation. Actually, beat die plus faith plus beat die of creations. Next, beat die from the creation action. Minus, it would be evasion or brace. Actually, we'll call it evasion and brace to deal damage to the enemy or perform from the effect of the miracle / spell. Disarm President. Okay, so let's Now you may be saying, wow, why would you ever not unload? Well, the idea behind the combo ender is that you may build up to like a D20 and then you want to unload. You don't want to do it too early because you lose everything when you do your combo ender. But also, if you only have one shot left, obviously unloading isn't very valuable. You may want to reload, but reloading is, guess what? A combo ender, so you lose your fucking combo. So it's kind of you want to make a decision that's kind of hard to do. How do I've been saying this? Maintains air. Maintains air. Disarm. Attempts to disarm the enemy section weapon. I'm going to drop disarm. I don't think that's as valuable. Character makes a dedicated maneuver to escape the combat. They'll roll their beat die value, and an attribute try and flee, being opposed to the enemy's beat die, and this same attribute. If they Try to rejoin, follow through strike, grapple. Ends their combo as well as combo of their target if they beat them in a beat die plus strength plus minute. Yeah, grapple's the, oh, fuck you, got mine. I know you're going to unload on me, so I'm going to grab you out of your attack so you can't do anything. Reloads all their ranged weapons. Shield cancels the next piece of damage. Do I actually want to keep shield? Actually, we're going to call it defend. Character adds plus 10 to adds 10 plus toughness / finesse. Then plus 10 plus 2 to brace, or 10 plus finesse to evasion. But you lose your combo, so that's kind of your oh crap, I'm going to get hit in the face by something. Actually, nope, screw it. I'm gonna call it shield. Shield, but I'm gonna give this a red mark. See if their name pending. I need a better name, but my idea behind it still, I want to keep that because that's kind of your oh shit. Like I'm getting my shit kicked in. Next piece of, yeah, it's not. Because again, that you lose your combo. You gain nothing by doing this. And you're saying, why don't you just spam shield again, it's one, the next piece of damage. So if you notice someone triggers their shield, what you do is you P-shoot to them for like 1 damage. And then it's just like, oh, you blocked it, and then you go in on them and unload. So there's a little bit of teamwork here where you're trying to keep everyone alive. So yeah, let's select everyone here, add on sort of paragraph A to Z. If anyone has a better name for shield, feel free to tell me. I am more than willing to change that name. Actually, plus weapon, minus evasion. Alright, alright. The adjudicators. Alright, so the absolute basics of combat actually somewhat works. Actually, what I should put in is a side note. On aerial combat, and maneuvering. Combat in Project Eros is supposed to be fairly large and impressive with characters moving about fairly quickly, trying to deal with threats as they pop up. A character who is aerial is technically in the air for a small amount of time, getting a small amount of time, which also allows them to attack other aerial enemies or deal with threats elsewhere. This is supposed to be cool. Nothing else. This is supposed to be cool. Not realistic. If you're aiming for a more, quote, grounded game, then remove the aerial combat mechanics, aerial combat concepts, and focus on the ground-based systems. Just to know that characters can and will possibly be dealing with enemies that can fly. So, have fun. Not a flawless thing, but I think it'll work for what I'm going for. Aerial combat, maneuvering. It's actually a pain to actually find any game that does Devil May Cry systems of combat, just moving around, dealing with enemies like that. That's not a method in a lot of games, because it's surprisingly there's a lot of things that go into it, as we can see if we open this up. If we view this, what are the roles this person is doing to do all this combat? What are the roles? What are they doing? You know, that's why I always ask, like, anytime you find a game or something, always ask yourself what is actually being done if you were to put this on the table. All of this, that is dozens of roles. You know, hundreds of this little damage calculations of moving around second by second. That's not exactly fun to keep track of. That's why, you know, video games are a bit. Some games are actually a lot more complicated to adapt to the table. Exactly, you know, the one-hit roll and the DM has really good descriptions. You get kind of the both extremes of things. On one hand, you can get the, oh, well, you know, I rolled one dice and this is what happened. And other times people will be like, well, I want you to go through every single thing. It's like the John Wick GURPS thing. If I can find that. But someone actually, you know, plugged all the numbers with GURPS of the exact method of how to do a John Wick combat scenario, and it proved to be this monstrous size of a actual set thing in the game. It made complete sense if you knew GURPS, but it was just like, Jesus, that's a lot for something that took a minute to do in the actual movies. So there's two ways of doing it, and there's been no good ways of actually. People have attempted to adapt it to various games. Mostly fucking like D&D. People are like, I can play a Devil May Cry in D&D. Dante's a fucking paladin. I'm like, no, you dumbasses. D&D doesn't do everything. If you keep saying it does everything, people are going to get more stupid. And anyone who claims D&D can do anything, they are wrong. D&D does its thing. Let it stick in its own lane, and it knows how to do that lane. Same way for a lot of other games. I'm not going to ask, you know, fucking Pendragon to immediately adapt to my, you know, Dune game. Actually, though, that would work pretty well. Like, but that's not the point. But all right, the combat is roughly where I want it. Aerial actions and combat. We want to put that to play fair display. Combo enders, play fair display. Grand bound. Alright, let's put this in Eros finally. Yeah, my usual thing with D&D, when people ask me, like, can I run my, like, 1920s gangster RPG and using Dungeons and Dragons, my question is, what will you be doing in this game? And people will be saying, well, oh, well, we'll be, you know, bootlegging with combats, and there'll be cars and guns. And the second I ask them, being like, all right, you want guns? How do I do full auto? You roll a d20, and you add your dexterity, and be like, that's not how full auto works. Like, no. Choose a system that's a little bit more suited for something like that. Cool idea. Don't get me wrong. Cool idea. Don't do it. Don't use D&D for it. I wish people would kind of understand that it doesn't do everything particularly well. And there's people who would fight me on that, and I know they would. But it's like, guys, I don't use my oven to make Pop-Tarts. It doesn't quite work that easily. I use my toaster because it's a toaster. It does its one thing very well. And so it's like, I'm not going to use D&D to try to run everything I want to. Like, hell, this game, you could try to run like in D&D. It wouldn't work very well just because of all the little things I plan on adding. That's not the point as well. But inevitably, someone will ask me to do it. I mean, hell, if you ever want to hear... Then you get the... See, if you ever want to hear, as an indie game developer, everyone is see, you know, someone's face fall and have them be absolutely depressed for years on end. I finished the last game I worked on, Wada Nahara and the Great Blue Sea. I gave it to the commissioner, and they're just like, oh, well, yeah, this is cool, thank you, you know, it's good. I'm like, okay, cool, is there anything wrong? Just give me a heads up. And they're like, hey, can you make this a 5e, you know, supplement? And they were joking, but my heart almost gave out. Life made nothing. Life was dead. Like, I had given up. Like, you know, Damadare played in the background, Baka Mitai. It was just like, my feelings were destroyed and my heart was ruined. But it was okay. Because I'm okay. Yeah, apparently we got quite a few people in chat. Not actually chatting, but... Comic book states D20, either beat die, subsequent action does not quite beat die. Beat die, shield. Shield just needs to get a name change. Do I want to add... How do I want to do movement? Do I want to do it the set piece system? If I do the set piece method... Effectively, every battlefield is divided into various smaller set pieces. Let's... My illusion realms and you. Magia Cantos, when creating illusion. 0 to 5. Okay, we're gonna wanna. We're gonna want to put this system in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do combat basics, delete it, and illusions realm and you. Combating the arena of the supernatural. When confronting the enemies of God, the arena represents the size, represents the time and place the fight is taking place. It could be as mundane as a parking garage, or as fantastical as a twisted realm of the Fae. When the characters enter the arena to battle, it's either the adjudicators or their target who will emerge. When creating an arena, the game master has to pick between 0 to 5 set pieces that define locate. Actually, what I should say is, let's bump it up to 2 to 6 set pieces that define the location, as well as giving certain set pieces a die value from D4 to D20 to represent the danger or advantage to those who manipulate it. Example, arena. The world twists and contorts as characters find themselves in a witch's illusionary hellscape, surrounded by all sides by her minions. The characters will need to fight their way out and destroy the witch to escape. The throne. Actually, what did I say? Thorny Veils. Park twisting. Thorny Veil. Bushes of Park. Actually, what I should say is Thorny Veil D8. The park's bushes have become a thorny nightmare with thick razor sharp thorns, daggers, which damage any character who is unfortunate enough to be shoved in them. Miasma D4, which is miasma. It's difficult to even breathe. The characters will suffer a negative D4 to all of their actions as long as they are present in the realm, or they cast a miracle to avoid it. And what would be another good? Would be another good one. Wait, oh god. The witch has contorted the jungle gym into a nightmarish display of spears and desires. A strong enough character. The character could probably work one out to toss at their enemies, or use as an improvised weapon, or just toss an enemy into the spears. There we go. The arena of the supernatural. Okay, we want to put that. We're going to put that right here for now. Oh, we want to make everything roboto for now. We're going to do that. We're going to put a heading 2. Example arena. Wait, is everything 11? No, it has to be 12. I have a strange feeling someone's going to yell at me and complain that, oh, it's too small. Well, it's too big. The font's too big. And also, hello, Mecha Girl Sachiko. How are you? Which is my asthma. Alright, so we need to do major threats and minions. A character who is on equal footing as a character is regarded as a major threat and operates similarly to the characters, building, reducing, and using their beat die. A minion, on the other hand, is a static enemy with a singular beat die. With a singular beat die and a set of health equal to their beat die times 2. A minion dies when reduced to 0 health, or when the execution action is used on them. Use them to increase the size of fights. Whenever a minion attacks, actually I should say, a minion has a reduced amount of actions. Actually, a minion does start. A minion just will act on initiative 0. Oh, actually, we should say all minions. All minions will act on initiative 0. acting in order of their beat die in a descending order. Minions are reduced by the amount of actions they may commit. But each minion can be unique in certain qualities or the power of their weapons and armor. Minion actions. Attack. Deal beat die. Actually, I should say it. / finesse. Deal beat die. Yeah, apply plus weapon. Minus evasion. Ranged. Or brace. For melee. In damage. The target distributes damage to their distributes damage to any limb. To any of their limbs. They also have Dogpile. Minions will attempt to reduce a target's beat die by 1 step, rolling their beat die versus the target's beat die plus toughness. And finally, we have retreat. The minions run away. The minions panic and flee. And they will exit combat at the end of the next round. Their beat die is considered to be 2 steps less. Meaning you can execute them faster, but that's the entire point. There we go. And minions are not supposed to be scary in the slightest. That's kind of the point. Oh, and things are crashing again. Calm down. There we go. Okay, we're working. Oh god, everything's heading to normal text heading. Yeah, minions are not really supposed to be threatening everyone. There's a reason for that. Yeah, they don't build their beat die at all. All they can do is really reduce yours. Actually, what I should add is... yeah. Minions cannot maintain air and will fall to the ground. On their next action. There we go. Okay, so we got combat to where I would like it. It's not perfect, but it doesn't really need to be perfect. Just needs to work. So, perfect. So, we got combat to work properly with enough oomph behind it. I need to just do some more playing around with it, probably out of off camera, just to make sure everything is working. So, next time we're going to be working on the build your own relic system, which I am going to be stealing ludicrously from a fellow dev who does the game called Homunculus. And Homunculus is a really awesome game, which is all about using weapons that you create yourself. So, yeah, I'm going to have to... I'm not going to be stealing it one for one, but I'm definitely going to be employing it. So, looking around here outside of Village Your Own Relic, the congregation system is going to need to get there as well. The congregation system, my idea behind it is you need to get people in your congregation. You need to make sure those people are happy. So you are inadvertently, I'm going to be using kind of almost pathologic system of your bonds. Pretty much, let's say in your congregation, you're responsible for a family of werewolves, a couple vampires, and you have to make sure that the local witch doesn't, fuck things up. Everyone pays their dues to you to make sure that they're safe and everyone else is safe. If something happens, it's your responsibility to deal with it. Little Timmy summons a Satan monster, cool, you have to go deal with it. If you fuck up, you're going to lose the faith and trust of the members of your congregation. I.e., you're not going to get as much money, and that means you're not going to give enough resources to actually start improving things, i.e., your advancement. So kind of to double down on that, you want to make sure that everyone is happy, but you can't make everybody happy. So it's the push and pull of, as a member of the church, do I help these guys out, or do I help these people out? Do I do what the witches want me to do to make them happy, or do we do what the Therianthropes want to do to make them happy? Or do we kind of sacrifice everyone being happy, but we invite someone new into the congregation? So we extend our influence around. Nobody really likes this person, so everyone's not really happy, but people accept it. Or what do we do if we have to kick someone out of the congregation? Do we want to kick someone out if they're really fucking up? Or what happens when one dies? Nobody's feeling safe anymore, so no one's going to be paying their dues. So that's kind of the idea behind the congregation, is who's paying their dues, who's making sure everyone's getting paid, and solving issues that stop people from the money coming in. So the build your own relic system, I'm hoping won't take too long, depending on next session, which should be next Tuesday. It will either be incredibly simple or be incredibly complex. There's going to be no middle ground, unfortunately. From there, what we can do is either, if everything goes smoothly with that, I might put miracles as well in that session. If things are not going smoothly, I might make it its own and just make the congregation and miracles under themselves. The miracles are going to be almost an entire episode unto themselves, because I'm going to have to do 7 natural miracles, 2 miracles for the vampires, 2 miracles for the Therianthropes, and from there we just need to do advancement. Once advancement's done, the game's effectively wrapped up. Outside of that, it's just cleaning things up. I might have to add a monster manual